My beloved child, I need you to stop everything and open your heart fully right now. Do not delay. You may not understand the full scope of this moment, but in the next 45 minutes, something beyond the natural world is unfolding around you, and the heavens have been instructed to speak to you urgently. Archangel Michael, who has stood silently and faithfully at your side through storms and shadows, has just shouted your name in the realm of light. He did not whisper. He commanded. Because this time, it is not just another message. This time, the weight of destiny itself is trembling with urgency. Archangel Michael's voice has shaken the gate of divine judgment today, and he says this is no longer a warning, it is an order. This is the moment your name has been called for something no one thought you would survive long enough to witness. Heaven has watched you endure. It saw you forgive when others would have struck back. It watched you grieve silently while pretending to be strong for others. And heaven wept with you. Now, in the final 45 minutes of a spiritual countdown that began long before you were even born, you are being summoned by the divine to witness what was hidden, about you, about your life, and about the person you didn't know had prayed to destroy you. You are not imagining the pull. You are not mistaken about the whispers in your soul. What you feel right now, this tightness in your chest, this sense of unexplainable urgency, is not your anxiety, it is divine fire. And the fire is coming with revelation, breakthrough, and exposure. Archangel Michael says you must not ignore this moment because the surprising news that is being prepared in heaven has already been released. But the enemy has tried to delay it using the person you thought would protect you. Yes, the very one you once defended with your own tears. That person has just done something that triggered a divine consequence, and now the veil has torn. Michael stood at the edge of the cliff last night, watching the final attempt of darkness to steal your inheritance. He fought. He won. But his heart broke because you almost gave up just before this moment. Today, a decision was made in the courts of heaven that affects your name, your blessings, and your divine justice. A document that was hidden in the spirit realm, bearing your spiritual signature, has now been released. This document proves your innocence. It reveals the truth. It exposes the lie that was placed on your name by someone who thought they were clever enough to deceive both man and God. That person is trembling now, even though they do not know why. Their soul has sensed that heaven has opened the book on their betrayal, and nothing they do now can reverse what has already been set in motion. And here's what God says: your last act of obedience, the one you thought was meaningless, is the very reason this surprising news is being released. When you stayed silent instead of retaliating, heaven wrote that moment into the book of judgment. When you cried quietly on the floor that night and said, "God, I trust you even though this hurts," the angels stood up and saluted you. When you helped someone while you yourself were drowning, God said, "Mark that moment, for I will repay it." Today is the day of repayment. And it's not just money. It's not just love. It's exposure. It's reversal. It's divine honor. What was taken from you is about to come back to you multiplied, but it will arrive in a way no one saw coming. Not even you. The person who betrayed you will be the one forced to speak a truth they swore they would take to their grave. God says their tongue will burn with guilt until they confess, and their voice will shake as they admit, "I was wrong." They never thought you'd make it this far. They bet on your silence, and now heaven has roared back with a decree of vindication. There is a divine surveillance recording of what someone did behind your back in the last 24 hours. And Michael saw it. He did not just watch it, he cried. He cried because he knows how much you loved this person. He cried because he knows how long you waited for them to tell you the truth. But he also cried because he knows what God has in store for you next, and it's nothing like the betrayal you suffered. It is everything your soul has prayed for. The angels are positioning people, places, and moments that will shock you into tears, not of pain, but of overwhelming gratitude. You are about to be restored in front of those who mocked your fall. God says, "Because you waited, I have reserved something only the patient receive. Because you trusted me when you had no proof, I am about to give you the kind of proof no one will be able to deny. Because you kept walking when your legs were breaking under spiritual pressure, I am about to lift you so high that the very ones who cursed you will gasp and say, 'Only God could do that.'" The 45 minutes are not just physical time, they represent a spiritual window. A portal of divine turnaround. And this window is being kept open by Archangel Michael's sword. But once it closes, the choices you make now will determine which side of the revelation you stand on, the side of divine reward, or the side of divine reckoning. Because make no mistake, God is exposing someone. And not just anyone. This is someone close. Someone familiar. Someone who used your own trust as a weapon against you. They thought they buried the truth. But heaven has resurrection power. And what they buried is rising. There is a man who is going to reach out in the next few hours. He doesn't fully know why yet. He just feels drawn to you. He feels your name burning in his thoughts. God has placed your name on his spirit, and this man has the power to open a door you've been locked out of for years. But if you ignore this message, the angels may redirect him. Because spiritual instructions must be followed with reverence. Michael is standing by, waiting for your spirit to align. Not because God needs your help, but because God desires your participation. You are not just a recipient of this miracle. You are a co-creator of it through your obedience. Something else, God says that your picture has recently been looked at by someone who holds influence. Someone you never met, but who was drawn to you without explanation. This person was sent by heaven to see you, not just with their eyes, but with their spirit. They don't fully understand their assignment yet, but they will. And when they do, they will say, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I have to help you. But your spirit must be ready. Because there is another voice trying to delay you. The voice of fear. The voice that says, it's too late. The voice that says, nothing ever changes. That voice is lying. It's the same voice that whispered to Judas before he betrayed Jesus. And that voice has been whispering to someone in your life. That's why their eyes have changed. That's why their behavior is off. That's why you keep sensing something wrong in the room, even when no one is speaking. It's not paranoia. It's discernment. And God gave it to you for such a time as this. This is your moment to remember who you are. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be overlooked. You were born with a divine imprint that causes hell to shake when you wake up. That's why you've been fought so hard. That's why people you loved turned on you without warning. Because your presence is a disruption to every dark plan. But heaven says the disruption is now becoming a demonstration of grace, of power, of justice, of unexpected blessings. You will be contacted within the next 7 days about something you almost gave up on. When it happens, remember this message. Remember that Michael waited 2 full hours just for the right moment to release this word to you. He held it back because he was hoping you would sense it in your spirit first. And now that you have, the angels are moving with accelerated speed. Don't be surprised if electronics glitch. Don't be surprised if people act strangely. The shift has already begun in the atmosphere, and the spiritual is colliding with the natural. Someone tried to block you by using your name in a hidden conversation. They did it thinking no one would ever find out. But God is not mocked. And the angels took note. A divine reversal is taking place right now. The same tongue that cursed you will be used to bless you, publicly. God is not only giving you justice, but He's making a spectacle of the enemy's plan. They will see it and gnash their teeth, but they will not be able to stop it. Because when God speaks, even the darkness obeys. So now, my child, you are at the intersection of pain and promise. At the edge of what was and what will be. You can either go back into fear, or you can step forward into fulfillment. God says, choose wisely, because the next 45 minutes hold the blueprint for the next 45 years of your life. And if you're wondering, why now? Why me? God says, because you didn't give up. Because even when you were invisible to the world, you were visible to me. Because I have chosen you for something that requires endurance, and you have proven yourself in private. Now I will reward you in public. Let the one who tried to curse you watch from the shadows. Let the one who tried to steal from you sit in silence. Let the one who tried to become you finally realize they could never carry the weight of your calling. You are not just stepping into a blessing. You are stepping into a divine unveiling. A time when what was hidden will be revealed. And when that surprise comes, because it will come, remember that it was your last act of faith that unlocked the floodgate. Time is short. The clock is counting down in heaven. Archangel Michael has already drawn his sword. He stands now before the one who lied about you, demanding they speak. You will hear something in the next 72 hours that confirms everything you just read. It will not be small. It will shake you. But it will also free you. Now go. Prepare. Watch. Pray. And do not delay. This moment is not a coincidence. This message was sealed in heaven for you and opened today because you are spiritually mature enough now to receive it. Your name is written in light. Your victory has been announced in the halls of angels. And your surprising news is already on the way. 45 minutes left. 45 sacred, trembling minutes. That's all the time you have before something irreversible shifts. And if you delay, if you hesitate again, Archangel Michael himself has warned, this moment may never return. Heaven is stirring. There is movement in the clouds. A soundless trumpet has been blown in the spiritual realms. A decree has gone out with your name on it. God says, this message is for the one who has been doubting, the one who has been aching, the one who has been waiting far too long. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. And he doesn't use the word order lightly. This is not just an invitation. This is not merely a whisper. This is a command from heaven's highest protection, the warrior angel, the one who has fought through legions to shield your name, your life, and your calling. Because you're on the edge of something monumental. There is surprising news coming today, and you have no idea how long heaven has been preparing this just for you. This is not the first time you've heard the whispers. You've seen signs. Repeating numbers. Dreams. Names that appear in conversations you weren't expecting. Unexplained chills. Waking up at strange hours. You thought maybe it was just coincidence. But God says, no, child, that was me. I've been speaking. I've been warning. I've been guiding. But now, I am shouting, because time is so short. 45 minutes. That's all. Heaven is on countdown. And Archangel Michael is watching. Someone tried to stop this message from reaching you. In the spiritual world, there was resistance. There was a woman who spoke against your destiny. A man who made declarations behind your back. Words were spoken into the wind, curses wrapped in polite language, shadows wrapped in smiles. But God saw it. God heard it. And now God is overturning it. Today, yes, today, news will come that will shake you. Something you've been waiting for, crying for, begging heaven to reveal. And the strange thing is, it will feel sudden, but heaven wants you to know, this was never sudden to us. This was carefully arranged. Do you remember the last time you almost gave up? The moment when everything seemed like a closed door? You said, God, if this is really you, then show me a sign, because I cannot take this anymore. That prayer, whether whispered or shouted through tears, went up like fire. Archangel Michael heard it. Your guardian angels took it like an emergency scroll to the throne. And heaven responded, but you couldn't see it at the time. Why? Because divine timing works behind curtains. But now, God is ripping those curtains open. There is someone talking about you right now. Not in gossip. In awe. A conversation is happening in a room you are not physically in, but spiritually, your name is echoing. There is discussion about what you carry. Your gifts. Your light. Someone important is about to take interest in you. Someone unexpected. Someone with influence. Someone who is deeply connected to the next phase of your calling. But here is the part that Archangel Michael says you must not ignore. The enemy knows this, too. Someone tried to delay this. They placed blocks, confusion, distraction. They sent emotional attacks. They stirred people in your life to provoke you, mislead you, make you tired. They wanted you to miss this 45-minute window. But Michael is fighting now, right now, with his sword drawn. You have no idea the battle happening in the unseen. God says, you don't even realize how many battles I've won for you while you were sleeping. While you were crying. While you were accusing me of being silent. I was moving armies for you. I was reshaping timelines for your sake. I was silencing accusers in the courts of heaven. And now, the final piece is about to fall into place. But child, you must not ignore this call. Open your heart. Open your mind. Open your spirit. Something is arriving, and it's not just news, it's breakthrough. Heaven's decree has been signed. But you must receive it. There is no neutrality in spiritual timing. You either receive, or you reject by delay. You keep asking why it's taking so long. But God says, delay was not denial. Delay was protection. I had to expose the fake ones around you first. I had to show you who truly stands with you. I had to wait until the snakes revealed themselves. Because what I'm about to release in your life is so precious, so powerful, that it could not be delivered in the presence of betrayal. Yes, betrayal. Someone close to you has not been honest. But God says, I am exposing them, not to shame them, but to release you. You have been bound to guilt, to obligation, to emotional manipulation. You've stayed quiet to keep peace. You've tolerated lies to avoid conflict. But your silence has been costing you your freedom. That ends today. The chain breaks in this hour. Listen carefully, there is something written with your name in it. A document. A message. A letter. An inheritance. A record. And it's been hidden. But heaven says, no more. It's surfacing. What was stolen will be returned. What was delayed will accelerate. What was buried will be resurrected. Archangel Michael says, you've been doubted, but now you will be seen. You have walked through fire, and people thought the flames would burn you. But instead, you come out carrying anointing. An anointing that smells like the fire you survived. The fragrance of victory. And soon, those who mocked you will have no choice but to watch what God does next in your life. God says, this is not just your miracle, this is my reputation at stake. You are my name bearer. You carry my promise. I will not allow your enemies to say that I abandoned you. I will not allow your name to be mocked. I will vindicate you, not in secret, but in public. And those who once whispered, "Where is their God?" will soon say, "Surely, God is with them." But this next chapter requires your attention. Your obedience. Your full surrender. God says, you cannot carry old mindsets into this new move. You must let go of what hurt you. You must forgive. You must stop replaying the betrayal. Because I have something bigger ahead. And your hands must be free to receive it. The news is coming, yes, today. Not next week. Not next year. Today. Someone is reaching out. A door is opening. A name is being mentioned. A forgotten blessing is being remembered. Your case is being reviewed. Your name is being highlighted. And do you know why? Because of your last obedience. You didn't even realize what you activated. You thought it was small. You thought no one noticed. But heaven saw. That one act of faith. That one apology you didn't have to give. That one donation. That one prayer when you felt exhausted. That one time you stood up for what was right when everyone else was silent. Heaven marked it. And now, the reward is coming. You are not forgotten. You were never forgotten. The silence was a setup. The delay was a divine trap for the enemy. And now, it's your turn. This is not just another spiritual message, this is the moment your name is being whispered in the ears of those who hold keys. There is an official, an authority figure, who is being stirred concerning you. a judge, a decision maker, a gatekeeper, someone with power. And they are feeling something unusual. They don't know why your name feels highlighted to them. But heaven knows. Heaven placed the weight on their spirit. This is divine persuasion. This is God touching hearts behind the scenes. This is how destiny moves. But 45 minutes is all you have to come into alignment. It's a window. Windows don't stay open forever. They are seasonal, strategic, sacred. And the enemy would love for you to miss it by distraction, doubt, delay. Archangel Michael says, I order you to stay awake. To stay present. To stay aware. Because this next piece is unfolding swiftly. Like lightning. Like a rushing river. And once it begins, you will not have time to prepare. That's why the preparation is now. The instruction is now. Don't scroll past this. Don't dismiss it as just another message. You'll feel it, in your chest, in your stomach, in your bones. The Spirit confirms what the mind cannot understand. And if your spirit is stirred right now, that is your confirmation. God says, someone who left you will try to return. Someone who betrayed you will apologize. But not all of them are meant to be let back in. Use discernment. Not everyone who apologizes has changed. Some come back only to see how far you've gone. But I will give you discernment. I will show you who is real. But you must trust the feeling I give you. This is your rising season. Not next year. Not someday. But now. If you align. If you obey. If you say yes. Today. You're about to get surprising news. A phone call. An email. A text. An encounter. Something will feel too good to be true, but it's not. It's been long overdue. It's been earned in the secret place. Heaven is repaying you for what no one else saw. For what you cried about and then smiled through. For what you endured when no one clapped for you. For the prayers you prayed and told no one. Today, heaven claps for you. Today, the angels celebrate your survival. Today, Michael stands guard over your promise. God says, my beloved child, time is moving faster than you realize, and there are only 45 minutes left before something astonishing reaches your ears. You may not fully comprehend what is unfolding, but heaven has already set the divine wheels in motion. Archangel Michael is standing near you, his sword not raised in battle but in defense of your destiny, in protection of the truth that has been hidden far too long. He has watched you suffer quietly, and he is not allowing it to continue for another moment. Michael speaks now with the fire of divine urgency, and he does not whisper today, he commands. He orders you, open this now. You must hear what heaven is releasing for you today. What is being revealed was never meant to be hidden forever. There were forces that tried to conceal it, people who whispered in shadows, hands that signed things behind your back, eyes that rolled in jealousy, and lips that smiled while planning to steal your joy. But God saw everything. Not a single tear of yours was missed. Not a single betrayal went unnoticed by the throne of heaven. Today, a shocking revelation is being allowed to reach your heart because of what you did last time. God says, your decision to keep trusting, your choice to forgive, your prayer that was spoken through your broken voice, it reached the ears of the Almighty. Do not think for one moment that your voice is small in heaven. In fact, when you cried out in the quiet of night, angels gathered around you in silence. And Michael? He knelt beside you. Yes, even the mighty Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's armies, knelt with you, not out of pity, but because heaven respects your endurance. God says, you are about to hear something so surprising it will shake your understanding of everything that happened in the past year. You were not wrong to feel what you felt. That person you kept thinking about, yes, that person who suddenly changed, who withdrew without a real explanation, they are part of the reason why this moment is so critical. Something happened on their side. There was a decision made in haste, and it was not what you were told. You were not rejected, you were protected. There was a hand that moved circumstances around your life. It felt like chaos, but it was actually divine rearrangement. The job you didn't get, the person who ghosted you, the opportunity that vanished, they were all part of the same equation. God was recalculating the road, not because you made a mistake, but because someone else did something they shouldn't have, and God still wants to give you what's rightfully yours. Michael says, the package is still coming. The blessing is still assigned. The promise was delayed but not denied. There is someone in your life who is about to come forward with news that will shock you. This person has held back because they were afraid of the consequences, but God has been dealing with them in dreams, through people, through signs that won't let them sleep in peace. You were not the one who caused the distance. You were not the one who broke the connection. You are the one who kept the light on, who waited patiently, who remained honest when it would have been easier to lie, to play games, or to move on with bitterness. Because of that, heaven is opening a window of justice right now. Within these 45 minutes, you will begin to feel a shift. Some of you may feel a strange heat in your chest, a tear without cause, or even a sensation of lightness. That's not random. That is the divine confirmation. The spiritual locks that were keeping your breakthrough in chains are being broken right now. Michael says, you've waited long enough. Now it's heaven's turn to act. God says, the surprise isn't small. It isn't just encouragement. It's a turnaround, a breakthrough, and a complete reversal of everything you thought was already lost. You are about to realize that the people who counted you out are going to need your help, your wisdom, your forgiveness. There is someone connected to a high place, a person with influence, with status, with the ability to open doors, who has taken notice of you. Your name was mentioned in a room you've never entered, and someone who never believed in you has suddenly started to ask questions about you in private. Why now? Because something happened that revealed your value. They had access to your story, maybe even your social media, your photos, or something you said months ago. They ignored it then, but now? Now they see what heaven has always seen, a light that cannot be dimmed, a purpose that refuses to die. You are not ordinary. Even in your suffering, you've been chosen. Even in your silence, your life has been speaking volumes. God says, because of what you did last time, because you obeyed, because you didn't retaliate, because you prayed instead of cursed, heaven has assigned an immediate reward. But here's the twist, you won't have to chase it. It's already being sent to you. The confirmation, the proof, the contact, it's going to come to your ears, not by your striving, but by God's command. Archangel Michael says, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. And you are not going to be skipped this time. You felt it before, didn't you? Like everyone else's life was moving forward and yours was stuck. You saw people succeed who didn't even try. You saw people get the love, the opportunity, the applause, while you were left wondering if you were invisible. You're not invisible. You're undeniable. Michael is now in position. He has cleared the space around your spirit. He is shielding your mind from confusion. Every voice that tried to convince you that you were too late, too broken, too old, too inexperienced, those voices are being silenced by the voice of heaven. Right now, as you read this, an angel has been dispatched with a scroll bearing your name. It is not a scroll of judgment. It is a scroll of reward. This scroll contains the surprising message, it's your time. Heaven votes yes. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to beg anyone to stay. What's coming doesn't depend on their approval. God says, this is between me and you. This is the moment I release you from the emotional trap that others tried to keep you in. You are being upgraded. And no one can stop it. Even now, someone is being moved to reach out to you. Their pride has kept them away, but God is breaking their resistance. Don't be surprised if they come back crying, confessing, telling you things they were too afraid to say before. Don't be surprised if that message you thought would never come suddenly appears on your screen. Don't be shocked when you get called into that meeting, when you find out you were chosen, not by luck, but by grace. God says, I'm doing this not just to bless you, but to prove to the ones who doubted you that I was always with you. That's why it had to take this long. That's why you had to go through the silence. So that no one could take credit for what's coming. It will be undeniably God's doing. Michael says, 45 minutes. That's how long you have to prepare your heart. After that, the news will begin to ripple toward you. A surprise that cannot be stopped is en route. And this time, it's for you. So now, be still. Don't panic. Don't overthink. Don't try to figure out how. Just say this: God, I receive it. I trust you. I'm ready. Because the blessing is no longer in the distance. It is in motion. And nothing, not even what happened in your past, can block it. God says, your heart has endured so much that even you don't realize the strength you've carried. There were moments you could have broken down, moments you did cry behind closed doors, but you rose again. There were nights when nobody heard you whisper, God, I can't take this anymore, and yet, by dawn, you were still standing. That's not weakness. That's divine resilience. You didn't just survive, you endured like someone who was chosen before they were even born. And now, it's time for that divine endurance to be rewarded. God speaks in this hour because the time has come for vindication. The things that were unfair, the betrayal you weren't prepared for, the rejection that made no sense, all of those are about to be answered for. And you won't have to lift a finger to fight. Your defender is Archangel Michael, and he is not asking for permission, he's already moving. God says, my child, you thought this was just a hard season. But no, it was a test. A setup for a divine reversal. I allowed the silence to increase so that the voice of your miracle could thunder. Your name is being spoken by someone unexpected. This person carries influence, but they also carry conviction. They can't explain why, but they've suddenly felt drawn to help you. This is not a coincidence. Heaven planted your name in their heart. There is paperwork, a file, a conversation, something tangible, that had your name tucked away. It was nearly overlooked. It was nearly trashed. But something happened. A glitch. A pause. A redirection. And suddenly, someone picked it up again. Looked again. And this time, they saw you differently. They didn't just see information. They saw an assignment from heaven. And now they can't shake the feeling, why do I feel so strongly that I need to help this person? That's God at work behind the scenes. He is turning hearts in your favor. He is rewriting the conclusion they tried to place on your story. God says, They thought you were finished, but I hadn't even started. This next chapter will silence every rumor, every lie, every critic. Michael says, you thought you missed your moment, but your moment was never based on a date. It was based on divine alignment. And that alignment is happening right now. There is a divine unlocking that's been ordered for your life. The delay is over. The doors that remained shut for so long are beginning to move. And you're not going to have to knock 10 more times. They're going to open from the inside. God says, you are being let in, not as a beggar, not as an outsider, but as an heir. Yes, this next season is not about striving. It's about receiving. You already fought the hardest battles. The ones that nobody clapped for. The internal war to stay hopeful. The mental struggle to believe again. God saw it all, and He is responding. His response? A flood of grace, a release of favor, a swift reversal. And something else. God says, they don't know what you know. They didn't see the angels in your room. They didn't hear the dreams I gave you. That's why they doubted you. That's why they treated you small. But I made you to be a sign, a wonder, a testimony that can't be ignored. And this surprise that's arriving, it's going to cause people to ask, how did this happen for you? And your only answer will be, God did it. The people who once looked at you with pity will look at you with awe. The ones who laughed at your faith will witness your miracle. And you won't have to explain a thing. They'll see it with their own eyes. This is not about proving yourself. It's about God proving His faithfulness through you. Right now, there are spiritual orders being released. Michael has sent instructions to angels assigned to your finances, your relationships, your future. And the most beautiful part? Some of what is coming is generational. It won't just bless you, it will break curses that have haunted your family for years. It will bring clarity where there was confusion. Peace where there was torment. Light where there was darkness. And yes, someone is being exposed. Someone who pretended to support you but worked behind the scenes to delay you. Their actions have come under divine investigation. God says, I will expose what was done in darkness. I will reveal the hands that tried to sabotage you. But I will not allow it to damage you. Instead, it will push you into the spotlight of my justice. The surprising news you're about to receive, it is part reward, part revelation. You will be surprised at who reaches out. Surprised at what they confess. Surprised at what was hidden all this time. but even more shocked by how much heaven still has in store for you. You've been asking, why did they walk away? Why did they change suddenly? Why did they ghost me, lie to me, avoid me? And God says, because they were not ready. They were not pure in their heart. They were not aligned with my vision for you. And I love you too much to allow you to stay connected to counterfeit closeness. And here's the truth, that person still thinks about you. They have moments when their heart races. They remember the things you said. They feel regret. And now they're being stirred. God is confronting them in dreams. Archangel Michael is standing at their door in the spirit. And the weight is becoming too much to bear. Expect them to return. But not empty-handed. They are bringing truth. And maybe even tears. Whether you choose to receive them again or not, you will have closure. You will no longer be left in confusion. The answers you prayed for are coming directly from heaven. God says, even if they come back, they will see a different you. Not broken. Not confused. But elevated. Healed. Stronger. Walking in divine timing. You are about to experience what it feels like to be seen again. But not just by people, by destiny. The timing is correct now. The clouds are clearing. The pieces are clicking into place. You are not imagining it, things are shifting. Even the atmosphere around you is different. That's because the countdown has begun. Michael says, the portal is open. The scroll has been released. The word has gone out. And it will not return empty. That means no delay can block what God has already scheduled. You are not too late. You didn't miss your chance. And you are not too far behind. This is your divine alignment. This is your moment to receive. This is the reason you held on for so long. Now breathe. God is with you. You are protected. The surprise that's coming isn't just good news, it's confirmation of who you truly are in the eyes of heaven. And heaven? Heaven calls you chosen.